Michelle Bishop, once again in her actual office.
Hey, loyal viewers, and welcome to the next episode of PAVA IRL, or In Real Life. As you know, I recently did a bunch of demo filming at the NASED conference back in February, where I met a startup company called Voatz, based in Boston, that's working on mobile phone voting. Um, at the time, I thought this is a cool little piece. This will be a real interesting developing technology for some of our viewers. Well, polls closed on the West Virginia primary on May 8th, and they actually did the first ever test run of mobile phone voting, a highly controversial but very forward looking pilot project in which registered voters in 2 counties in West Virginia were actually able to vote using the Voatz technology if they were deployed military, their spouses or dependents, or other citizens that are eligible to vote absentee under UOCAVA, which is the Uniformed and Overseas Citizens Absentee Voting Act. So all of a sudden, this little demo with Voatz seems really, really important. Why don't you guys check it out?
So I'm here with Nimit and Jesse from Voatz, who are working on a mobile voting solution. Why don't you tell us more about your company?
Great. Thank you for having us. This is Jesse and Nimit from Voatz. We are a small startup based in the Boston area. We got started a little over 2.5 years ago. The premise of the company is to make it easier and safer for people to vote with a smartphone or a tablet. We make it really safe with the help of some new security technology available on smartphones, biometrics, and through a clever way to use the blockchain. So the combination of that, in our humble opinion, makes the whole process really, really safe and convenient, especially for voters who can't physically be present on the day of the election at the polling station.
I know that this is something that a lot of voters want, this kind of flexibility. The thought that if we just vote from our phones, then participation will go up. There are a lot of people saying that this is something we just can't do, that we have to have paper ballots if we want secure elections. Can you tell us, for a non-techie, what blockchain is and why this is something that makes it secure?
Sure. So, simply speaking, blockchain is a distributed ledger technology. Think of it as a Excel sheet which is distributed across thousands of servers around the country, and it's an immutable, irrefutable, and auditable log. So, what that means is it keeps everybody trustworthy, including us as the provider of the software, any government entities, any third parties. At the same time, it's a auditable record, which means you can prove that a certain voter in a certain jurisdiction voted without having to compromise their identity or how they voted. So in our opinion, it's a big game changer. It also doesn't require you to trust the creator of the software anymore. All these things weren't possible about 5 years ago because this technology didn't exist, but now it is. So, in our, once again, humble opinion, the technology barriers to not doing this have been solved. Now it's the next step of, you know, doing a lot of um, maybe lower risk events to begin with, then building off that, doing more complex elections, building trust, and showing to the various stakeholders that this actually works and that it is the way to go for the future.
Michelle, just trying to eat her lunch in peace.
Hey, that was a pretty good explanation, but you still don't know what blockchain is, do you? Okay, I got this. So, blockchain is when you have a continuously growing list of records, say, I don't know, people's votes, and they're called blocks, and then you link them together using cryptography and you timestamp them. Okay, this is going to take all day. What I need you to do is click on the read more below, and I'm just going to put some links in there that'll explain blockchain to you. And if you're thinking, I don't really need to know what blockchain is, and you do literally any work with voting tech, you need to know what this is. Like, you really need to know.
And back to the guys from Voatz at the NAS conference. So where is it currently being used?
Because we're based in the Boston area, we've primarily been deploying the technology in Massachusetts. So we started with colleges and universities over there for the student government elections. Then both the major political parties in the state use our system for their internal elections, conventions. We've got unions using the system for their elections, churches, other nonprofits as well. And now we are rolling out the technology with town governments in Massachusetts. There's a unique voting process which happens in New England. It's known as town meeting voting. It's 200-plus-year-old tradition where you show up at your town meeting twice a year, and then if you're a registered voter, you vote on a whole bunch of articles and measures. And so we are rolling out that technology. It's the most local form of government voting, so a very good place to roll out the technology, show people that this actually works without creating any kind of partisan considerations.
I've heard some congresspeople are starting to use technology to poll their constituents on issues and particularly on pieces of legislation. Is this something that can be used for that?
Absolutely. We actually have some politicians and political groups and also non-political groups already using our system for those purposes. And um, functionally speaking, they work in the same way as a ballot, but it's categorized as an opinion poll, so it's a non-binding vote. Yeah, absolutely.
So, Jesse, you're going to teach me how to vote on a phone?
Yes.
All right, let's do it.
I will start off with a little bigger iPad here to show you that this could be used on location, on premise. So if you can't get to a voting station, this could also be set up in the polling locations. Got a driver's license here. We use the barcode on the back. Sorry. The different
Eligible voter.
So it actually determines your eligibility to vote in this contest as well as an extra security
So
feature.
in this case, Jesse wasn't eligible to vote on those ballots, so it stopped him. So now it's another voter who's eligible to vote, and so we're going to try that other voter.
All right, so now we've come in here and we have a different mock vote that ID is eligible for. So again, we'll go back to the vote selection. All right, so this time you get a confirmation here. Your vote has been received. Select OK. You can see here is the ballot that I was just part of. You get a notification that says you've already voted in this event. So we make sure to credit the voter only one vote, and then once they expend that, they no longer have access to the ballot. So that's how we ensure that there's only one vote being recorded. So that's the larger scale in-person version. Um, the other option is here on your phone, download a free app from the Apple Store or Google Play. Here, I've already gone through the step of registering my state ID, so it knows that I'm verified, but in order to access the app, I need to log in. So we've tied that, as Nimit mentioned, to the biometrics. This is a new iPhone, so this is tied to actually my face. So to log in, it prompts me for my Face ID.
Pause. Some of this is going to be a little hard to see. Don't worry, Jesse and I thought of everything. In a moment, you're about to get a close up of an iPhone using the Voatz app. It's going to show you the screen a little clearer, and it's also going to show you how it looks using a fingerprint security on a phone that doesn't have face recognition.
Once I do that, it will then show me the eligible ballots that I'm available for. So I'll refresh here. And then you see here, we have an eligible opinion poll. Looks very much the same as it does on the tablet, but this can be done from your phone. So we'll click in, a simple yes/no prompt. Make your selections. Again, it prompts you in the top corner to submit. In order to submit, it asks for my Face ID again. All right, so once it's been received and verified, I get the confirmation again. So you can see here that I've responded to this, and it shows you what was selected, but I'm no longer able to vote in that opportunity, that ballot. And so we think that for, again, any scenario where it's hard to get people on location, we have a secure way to take the election to them. So whether that be distributing tablets on the bigger format or even using people's phones that they already have. And that's really our goal in helping provide accessibility.
Well, I just want to say thanks to you both for showing us the technology today. I think this is exciting stuff. I bet a lot of our viewers haven't actually seen this before, so thank you both. If they have any questions for you and they want to get in touch, how can they reach you?
Sure. So we are available on voatz.com, voatz.com. You can also reach us via email, info@voatz.com. And any question, there's actually a comments form on our website. So if you have any questions, just feel free to reach out. We'll get back to you, maybe set up a phone call or a video meeting. So we are available anytime. Any help or questions, please feel free to reach out via the website or email.
If they have a vote coming up and they want to try the technology to actually run an organizational election or maybe poll participants at a conference, is that something they can request?
Absolutely, we'd be delighted to do that. So just give us a little bit of notice and we'll set it up and we'll bring equipment, phones, and we'd actually love to do that.
Great, you heard them, guys. Let's vote. Thanks.
Michelle, still eating lunch in her office and talking to someone off screen.
Yeah, people actually voted on a mobile phone, like in a real government-run election for the first time in the entire history of the United States. That seems super important. Like, I seriously hope people are paying attention to this.